Hello, this is video 7 of 10. We just turned on Wilkerson Road. We're definitely on some country roads now. I have never been in this area before. I have never been on this highway. And I don't know if it's that bend in the road, but Wilkerson Road turns into Old Stage Road. I think maybe on that curve. I'm not completely sure on that. Before I started this video, I was checking Google Maps because when you get on these back roads, yeah, this is Old Stage Road because we turn right on Midway Road. This is Midway Road. So we started out on Wilkerson Road. When we went around that curve, it turned into Old Stage Road. And now we're on Midway Road. And Midway Road will run into Lee Highway. You can see how pretty this countryside is out here. But this is just a small portion of beautiful, beautiful land in Tennessee. Tennessee is just as pretty as any part of the world that you'll go to, as far as I'm concerned. I've seen some beautiful places, but Tennessee is just spectacular. You would think I was partial to Tennessee. Well, I happen to be because I was born in Tennessee, lived my whole life in Tennessee other than what time I was in the military. So we continue down Midway Road. I was surprised at the water. You can see the water off to the right. I'm sure that that's not a continuous stream. There was a lot of rain the night before in this area. And so some of the dry springs or the dry branches usually only have water in them when they have a heavy rain. Now, don't take that information to the bank. I'm thinking I know what I'm talking about, and I may be 100% off base on that because I'm not familiar with this area. First time in this area. Now we're going to go right on Lee Highway. So now we're going down Lee Highway, and this is going to take us into Highway 321. As I said, I've never been in this area before. If I have, I sure don't remember it. I've been in and around this part of the country because eventually, not on this video, but one of the videos we'll get on Highway 411. And I've been on 411 many, many times because that used to be the major route to Chattanooga before Interstate 75 was completed. And I'd been up and down that road several times before the Interstate 75 was completed. But you can see this is a pretty countryside. Most of these are probably farms. I don't know what is to the right there where that fence, that's a nice looking fence. And of course, anytime you're on the road, you'll find automobile dealers, and there's one to the left. I've never seen so many automobiles for sale. There's so much competition, I don't see how any of these automobile dealers stay in business. As we continue down Lee Highway, when we come to 321, that's a busy highway. there was quite a bit of traffic on some of the major roads today. When we came through Knoxville, down Kingston Pike, in that area, it's quite a bit of traffic. As we continue down Lee Highway, with me jabbering in the background, and as I've told you before, I don't like putting music behind these videos, because if you happen to put a piece of music that someone totally dislikes, it'll drive you up the wall. I like watching these road videos from around the country, and the ones that are recorded without music in the background I enjoy the most, although some of the road videos I don't understand the language. If you go to one of the foreign countries, there's a lot of people doing these road videos. I used to do these road videos with my camera on the dash of the automobile, but when you do that, you're at the mercy of your windshield. If you start out and it's clean, you're okay, but it has a tendency to mess with the video. So things improved when I purchased some suction cups until I could mount my GoPro on the front window of the smart car. The smart car happens to be my video car, and eventually I'm going to find somebody that'll connect me a power cord to the front of the car, and then that way, because the way I'm doing it now, I have the power cord from the GoPro coming through the window plugged into the cigarette lighter, and it's not an efficient way to do it. It works, and when you power your GoPro from the power of the automobile, then you don't have to worry about a battery running out. And with this 64 gig SD card that I have in the GoPro, it will record continuously high definition video for 4.5 hours, which every time I say that and I look at that little, because it's a mini SD card, it's about half the size of a postage stamp. Each time I say that, it just boggles my mind how they were able to do that. It's just, to me, it's one of the mysteries of science, how in the world they were able to do that. That's the brilliance of people, and our country has been fortunate to have some of the smartest people in the world working in our industry. So we continue. See, there's more. You can go and buy an automobile there, and you'll find a dozen more before long on this road, especially when we get on 321 and 411. Many, many automobiles for sale. And we continue. Now, I don't know what community this is right here. If you see a sign, you can figure it out. I should have scoped that out before I started doing the dialogue, but I didn't. But this is the intersection of Lee Highway and 321. And we're going to go left on 321. This video will end out here a few miles, and we'll be turning on Highway 95. And the video ends just at Highway 95. And then on video 8, you'll see where I passed that road by. Because, like I've been telling you, the GPS system, you'd pass the road, and then the girl would say, "Turn right here." So I passed it by. But I double back on video 8. I'll double back and hit Highway 95 off of 321. Looks like they're doing a lot of work. If you don't update your GPS system, I think I found some firmware for my GPS in the GoPro. For a long time I was trying to find the firmware, and it was almost impossible to find. And yesterday I went online, and it looks like the people who manufactured the GPS units for the smart car has released their firmware. So I downloaded the firmware, went out in the smart car yesterday evening and loaded it, and it looked like it's up to date, so we shall see on my next road video. As we continue down 321, Highway 321, if I'm not mistaken, Highway 321 goes through Boone, North Carolina. This is, it turns into Lamar Alexander Parkway. To the left, you'll see Fort Loudon Dam. So I guess that little community back there was Fort Loudon. A few years ago, the road used to go across the dam, and the Smoky Mountain Wheelman Century Ride, each year, we'd leave Concord Park, we'd go up to Townsend, turn around, come through Maryville. I keep wanting to say Maryville. Yeah, Maryville. I get Morristown and Maryville mixed up. It's Maryville. And when we came out of Maryville, we would ride our bicycles across the dam. And that wasn't too many years ago. And then they did a lot of construction work in and around Fort Loudon. And this is a result of it. This highway and bridge was completed a few years after I quit riding my bicycle. I rode my bicycle, up until I was almost 70, I think. Can't really remember. Dates have never really been that big of a deal for me. I didn't take and write down a date when I quit riding my bicycle. It just happened. That little place off to the left there, that when we were doing a century ride, one year, when I came by there, it must have been 98 degrees. And I stopped there, and I think I purchased some Gatorade. But that was one of the hottest. Can you imagine riding 100 miles on a bicycle and at 98 degrees? But if you're in shape, you can do that. And back then, I was at my peak. Up into my 60s, I was still riding. I was thinking, these two motorcyclists, I wonder if they will ever know that they're on YouTube. I wonder if someone will be watching this video someday and say, hey, there goes George, and call and say, George, you know you're on YouTube? and said, I saw you on 321. I doubt that will ever happen, but that would be kind of funny. But I think of that when I see people riding motorcycles, if they will ever see themselves on YouTube. We're going to turn on Highway 95. This video will end right as we pass Highway 95 because I missed the turnoff. And then on video number 8, you'll see me turn and come back and go down 95. I'm trying to think about what time it is now. It must be around 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the 25th of March, 2020. And as I said back there at the church when we were sitting in the parking lot, this is the final video that I'm going to do until things get back to normal, because things are not normal. And if you watch this video in the future, like Paul Harvey, you'll know the rest of the story. But unless I change my mind, right now they haven't locked down the state of Tennessee. Some of the other parts of the United States are having a terrible time. But I believe in the next few days they may start limiting travel. Although that's why we packed our lunch, because I had enough fuel to do the route, but I had planned to eat in the car and stay in the car just to do this road video, and that's what we did. But this will be the last one that I'll do, because I want to conform with whatever the state has decided to do. As of right now, they really haven't made a decision, but I'm thinking they probably will. It's the 29th of March right now when I'm doing the voiceover. Okay, this is 95 coming up, and this video will end, and you'll see me double back on video 8 of 10. Highway 95 is coming up right here.